So we're here with a batch of mature elderberry shrubs that are growing along the Nolan Creek. I'm going to try my best to help you identify them when you're out on your adventures. Elderberries always grow on the banks of water sources, mostly creeks and rivers. They don't grow in the water, but they grow on the banks. So keep that in mind. Even though it's often thought that they grow in water, but they don't. They grow on the banks. I'm going to try to help you identify them. That will be your first identifying clue. Is if you find a shrub that looks kind of like this, growing out in the middle of the woods in the full sun and arid conditions, it's not an elderberry. But if you find a plant that looks like this growing on the banks of a water source, it's possibly an elderberry. So look closely at the stem, and one thing that I have found is unique to elderberries is all these little pimples. I'm sure that there's a technical name, but I'm not a botanist. I'm an average person that's a plant geek that wanders around the woods learning about plants and what they're as a matter of fact, there's poison ivy, so be careful when you're, thankfully I'm not allergic, but this is poison ivy. You can probably identify it. You can look at that. It has the typical kind of mitten look to the leaf. Has the 3 leaves and has kind of that reddish tint. It's just now coming out of spring growth. So anyway, so we're talking about identifying plants: poison ivy, elderberry. So these little pimples, dots. I know that there's a botanical name for it, but it's not really important to me right now. And I've seen, the roots when you plant elderberry cuttings, the roots typically grow out of these nodes, but they can also grow out of these stems. So just look closely at how unique the elderberry leaves are. They have it has like a reddish tint here at the base of the the stems. And this is what it looks like early in the spring. It's just now coming out from dormancy. But just look closely at it. And also there's a unique smell to the leaves. If you rub the leaves, it has a unique smell. It's kind of musty, really. Use caution because every part of the elderberry shrub is toxic except for the flowers and the ripe berries. So do use caution and be aware that every part of it is, even the roots are toxic, except for the flowers and the ripe berries. So here she is. And elderberries put out runners, so they usually grow in thickets. It's unusual to find one elderberry plant growing along a creek bank. If you see one, then look around. There are probably many others growing right here with it. So now revealing to you all one of my secret elderberry locations, but here we are along the Nolan Creek in Belton, below the splash pad. So come on down, take a look, and if you want to get cuttings, please don't get them from these mature trees. There's a large selection of elderberry shrubs that are sprouting out in an area down the river where the city of Belton mows, because the ragweed gets really high in that location and they keep it mowed down. Unfortunately, the elderberries down the way also get mowed down when they're mowing down the ragweed. So right now, if you want cuttings, don't harvest cuttings from these mature babies. Go down the creek and look for the ones that have a tender new growth like this, but coming from the ground. And the reason that they're doing that is because they're mowed down and they're resprouting. So get out in nature and learn what's growing around you and respect nature. We'll do some foraging of elderberry tops later on.